Hey kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today we are taking a look at the Leatherman Free K4. Now a couple of things I want to say before I push out this review is that this guy is on loan to me from thomastools.com.my. Do check them out. There is a link in the description to take you to the website and check out this guy right here. So Leatherman Free K4, let's talk about what the free line is. So the free line is free line is a series of tools, multi-tools coming out of Leatherman, and they have a few key features. Number one, all the tools are one-hand openable. So you have the knife blade here that opens, then you have all the tools in the back here that can be opened one-handed as well. I'm sure if I practice a little bit more, I should be much better at this. There we go. Another thing about all the tools here is that they have a some kind of a magnet system that kind of locks it into place so that it doesn't just flip out. Another key feature is that all the tools are locking. They have this kind of lock right here. I don't know what they call it. I suppose the free lock, but definitely helps lock all the tools in place, and then it will not fail unless like the thing fails, but that's redundant. What I'm trying to say is that it definitely is all safe to use. Doesn't matter which one you use, the pry bar, knife, whatever. And to unlock it, all you gotta do is you gotta just pull this up like so, and then it will unlock. And as I already mentioned, it is the same for all the tools that you have here. Like so, in this case I have two tools lock. I don't know why you want to do that, but you can if you really want to. Another thing is that all the tools, because of the magnet system and then the lock mechanism, is all extremely smooth, and it's also I think pretty much ambidextrous, at least with the K series, because the pocket clip can flip around to the other side. But that is it for the K series. Let us start with the review, and of course let's start with the weights right here. It is in grams, so we got to convert it. We're coming in at about 162 grams, which is about 5.7 ounces, relatively thick. We have my calipers. Let's switch it over to inches, because that's the way the world works. We have here 0.83 inch thick, so very, very, very thick. We have here, a maximum height of, there we go, a height of 1.28 inches. The blade itself has a length of let's see now, let's get this lined up. There we go. The blade here comes right around 3.33 inches with a sharpened blade length of about 3.25 inches, and then we have a blade thickness of, see that there is I'm getting, hold on, let me adjust it. There we go. I am getting 0.1413 inches, somewhere along those lines. Okay, so let us I think that's all the measurements that's needed. Now let's go to the full review, and since this is a multi-tool, we're going to go bit by bit, starting with the outside here. I can't tell what metal this is, although it feels aluminium. It feels very nice. I like it. It has some nice texturing right here. It has some nice contouring right here, so it's very comfortable in hand. Definitely bigger than pretty much every other knife that I have. Yeah, pretty much every other knife that I have, it is bigger than this. It is about twice the thickness of my ZT, and definitely way thicker, because there's so many more tools in the back right here. But you have this contouring right here. The edges on the inside here are nice and chamfered, so you're not going to cut yourself inside here. The edges in here are not chamfered, but they're not very sharp either. You have a kind of a coating here. I'm not sure what kind of coating it is, whether if it's PVD or whatever, but it seems to be holding up quite well. I haven't had any dings on it at all much. So no, great job on the coating right there. You have, as I mentioned, a reversible pocket clip. You can go on both sides with recessed screws, so this guy actually goes in and out of the pocket quite well. Nicely deep carry, not the deepest of carry, but pretty good in terms of deep carry. Definitely better than the pair of threes. And then you have another deep carry. You can switch it around here. It's also deep carry. I already mentioned about the locks. The locks are ambidextrous. Okay, there and there. So you just flip the clip around, and then you're gonna get the same. You're gonna get the same experience on the left as you are on the right. So let's go to the main here. K4 stands for knife. Knife spelled with a K, English language, guys. We have here a sheep's foot kind of blade, which I really like. It has a lot of belly, it has a lot of flat, very shallow belly, and a nice tip. It is not the sharpest behind the edge, even though it is a hollow ground, but the hollow ground doesn't go all the way up top. Hollow ground starts at about 60% of the way there. So as you can see, the tip here, it is relatively thick. It's definitely not a thin tip, so you're gonna get more hard use out of this guy. You're definitely not gonna get the best slicer, but it's gonna be pretty easy to sharpen because it is 420 HC. Pretty good in terms of what's the word? It's pretty good in terms of corrosion resistance. Not so good in terms of edge retention. So you're gonna be sharpening this guy quite a lot. Luckily, this blade steel is, from what I've been told, relatively easy to sharpen. Now you do have this thumb hole right here. This thumb hole is surprisingly sharp. Okay, it is not like the worst thumb hole I've had. The dragonfly, the Spyderco dragonfly was quite a bit sharper. This guy is on the sharper side, but no, not that sharp. Although it can be kind of uncomfortable. When the first time I tried it, it was kind of uncomfortable. You have some nice chamfered edges on the top right here, so you're definitely not going to be able to strike anything up top here, but it's going to be comfortable to use. You're going to use your finger up in here. You want to choke up, press up your thumb in the back here. Very nice. Now the action is surprisingly smooth. It is a very hydraulic smooth, and that is because this is running on, you can't see it here, but it is running on fossil bronze washers, and then the locking mechanism kind of ensures that there is constant pressure on the tang of the blade on the lock bar on the inside here. So as a result, it is not stick slippy. Okay, it doesn't like stick slip. It is very smooth on the opening and the closing, and with a bit of wrist, you can definitely flick this guy open. What else do you have here? You have you have hologram blade and all that. You have an unsharpened edge right here. The part of the blade here is unsharpened, so you can kind of choke up if you need to do some kind of detailed work. But overall, nice blade. You know, it is a hologram blade, which is nice. It kind of lends it to, it helps it be a little bit sharper, a little bit slicier. However, they've opted to go for a slightly thicker tip, despite the hologram right here. And all in all, it's just a really good blade, very smooth. Not the fidgetiest out there, but it's definitely one of those blades that are designed more to get the job done than to be fancy. Moving back a little bit, we have 4 tools in the back here. First of which, let's open it up. We have here this little pry bar flathead screwdriver slash package opener right here. Very thick. If I can just measure the thickness here, we are coming in at 0.13 inches, which is the same thickness as the blade. Okay, so you are getting a relatively sturdy, beefy flathead screwdriver, a medium-sized flathead screwdriver. You can also use this as a pry tool right here. Just pry it in and pop it up. And then you also have a little package opener right here. So if you ever want to cut through a packaging or whatever, you don't want to use your knife, you want to kind of maintain its sharpness, you can use this guy right here. I can say that it's quite sharp. It's not going to cut you open sharp, but it's sharp enough to cut through tape and maybe even cardboard. Now, one thing I do wish is that I do wish this was going to be a little bit thinner at the tip right here, so I can even do a bit of scraping. This can scrape, but it's not going to scrape under something that it's going to be very hard to scrape. I don't know how to explain this. It's not going to be the thinnest thing here. It's not going to be the sharpest scraper. And on top of that, sometimes when I want to pry something open, this is going to be fine if it's like a paint can or whatever. But sometimes I need to pry open very thin gaps that this just does not go into. So to rectify that, like, you might want to sharpen this yourself if you really want to. If not, it's going to be a-okay, because you have another tool here that is even sharper. This is an awl. And sometimes an awl is all you need in life. You have a sharpened edge right here, and then you have a sharpened tip right here, and then right here you have a very small screwdriver, and this screwdriver also comes to a very acute edge. It's almost sharp enough to pierce through you, because it is an awl. An awl is designed for you to punch holes through things. You can dig into something, create a little hole into wood. I've used mine to punch holes into my belt before. Pretty darn good. It does have a loop here for you to put thread through. So if ever you need to pry something that's a lot thinner, you can use this guy right here. Not going to be as sturdy as the flathead right here, because it is also a pry tool. But yeah, definitely this is going to solve that answer. Next up, we have here the, let's talk about this screwdriver. Now this screwdriver right here, it is one of these flatter bit screwdrivers, which Leatherman likes to put on their tools. It keeps everything thinner, but it definitely still works as a, not flathead, as a Phillips screwdriver. You can put together IKEA furniture with this, no problem whatsoever. It does come with a bottle opener. See here, bottle opener. If ever you want to have a drink after work or whatever, you can use this guy. I've never used this because I don't drink beer at all, really. But I assume this will do a good job. Last but not least, you have here the scissors. These are surprisingly good scissors. Multi-tool scissors don't tend to be very good scissors, but this has a good enough size for you to use on a daily basis to cut, you know, threads or whatever. You're not going to be doing arts and crafts with this guy. It's not quite long enough. You're not going to be cutting silk or cotton with this guy, but it's enough for you in a pinch to whip it out and use it. It also has it's also nice and spring-loaded, which I appreciate in scissors. So, in conclusion, what do you think about this guy? If you need this, you are pretty much comparing it with a Swiss Army knife. This is definitely going to be definitely hardier than your average Swiss Army knife. Thicker blade stock, every tool here locks, which is very nice. You have all these really birdy tools in the back here. You have awls, you have flathead screwdrivers, package opener scissors. This is a very good tool if you're going to carry only one tool in your pockets. Now, whether or not you want the P series or the free P series or the free K series, it's kind of up to you. If you want more knife, more of a knife-oriented multi-tool, this is going to be pretty good for you. Especially if you want something beefier than a Swiss Army knife or Victorinox, you're going to go for this guy. However, if you want pliers in life, I personally, between this and let's say Leatherman Juice or even a PS4 squirt, I would carry a PS4 squirt just because I use the pliers and the smaller scissors more than I would use this guy, because I do carry a knife on a daily basis. Okay, so that is the conclusion. Things I really like about it. I really like that everything locks. I really like how smooth everything is. It has a good set of tools, relatively burly tools. It is a little bit heavy in the pocket. Keep that in mind. It is going to be quite thick. It's going to be a good multi-tool in your pocket if you need a knife-based multi-tool. However, if you need pliers in your life, you might as well go for the free P2 or free P4. Okay guys, that is all. One last time, thank you to Thomas Tools for lending me this pocket tool, and you can check them out in the description down below. And thanks guys, stay ready.